Well, YouTube, my third installment of videos about MMA, boxing, combat sports, period. I'm going to start out this time with a shout out to Bloodstain Lane. Awesome guy. Regardless of his public persona, he's a good guy. I've spoken with him before. My sister has. She's a huge Bloodstain Lane fan. Lazy the Savage and Ray Sharkins. His band plays covers fantastically. I actually went and saw them maybe a couple months ago at in Springdale, Pennsylvania, and they were incredible. So if you want to see them play, I'll leave the link right at the bottom on the sidebar for you to check them out if you're into music, such as I. Anyway, let's get right to it. UFC Japan. This card is stacked. From top to bottom. I mean, you know it's a stacked card, and I got this. It's not my own thing. I got this from MMA Digest. And MMA Digest says, you know it's a stacked card when Mark Hunt versus Czech Congo is a prelim. That's a prelim, so it's free. I mean, I'm not positive that it's going to be on Facebook, but they usually put prelims. The UFC does on Facebook, so you'll be able to watch Czech, who just defeated. See, yeah, he came back from the brink of defeat from um, Pat Barry. Pat Barry, another one of my favorites. Very important to give him a shout out. He's incredible, man. He's such a nice guy. I mean, I talked to him on Twitter, and he tweets back, and he's a nice guy. I love him. I think he's a great fighter. You know, and I did see a video of him bitching, saying, "Why did you let this happen? Let this happen?" No fighter's ever let anything happen. I just think he lacks some. I just think he lacks. If you look in the background here, that's a legitimate Gracie blue belt that I get from my academy, Henzo's academy here in Pittsburgh. Um, anyway, moving on. The UFC Japan card. What I have is, of course, Frankie Edgar is going to face Benson Henderson, who I think is going to give him the biggest challenge. I mean, what, he fought Gray Maynard 3 times, Penn twice, so he's defended his belt for sure. But I mean, against two people, you know, 3 times against two people. I think Benson's going to give him a for sure run for his money. I really think that Ben can take this. And Bloodstained Lane said this before. I think that Ben Henderson's going somewhere in the UFC. I think he should have been in the UFC a long time ago. When they started dropping the heavier weights, I think they should have immediately moved Benson Henderson right into the to the not only the Zuffa umbrella but the UFC family. I think they should have given him a shot. I think he should already be fighting. Just, you know, I mean, how many has Cerrone had? 5 fights, or 4 or 5 fights in the UFC, and he's won them all in devastating fashion. Devastating fashion. I think he beat the shit out of just about everyone that there was to beat the shit out of. But anyway, we got Edgar. We got Edgar defending his title against Benson Henderson, and also we have 2 fighters that I feel are fighting for their job, and that's Akiyama and Jake Shields. I love Jake Shields to death. It seems like it's almost a fall from grace, you know. He comes from the Cesar Gracie camp. He trains with Nick and Nate Diaz, who are both phenomenal fighters. Both are phenomenal fighters. Nate's actually about to fight Donald Cerrone, and I can't wait for that. That's one of those fights where I don't mind who wins because I love them both. I'm not rooting or cheering for either one. I just know it's going to be a good fucking fight. And if you say Nate's going to lose or Donald's going to roll over him or vice versa, you know, like Nate's going to fucking outbox or outjits Cerrone, I think you're crazy. I think the only thing you can say for sure is it's going to be a good fucking fight. But you have the right to say what you want, and as do I. That's why I let you guys rate. Whether you rate me piece of shit or you think I'm an okay guy, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever comment you want to make, please do it. It's America, and you can You can say what you want, really, and you can say what you want, but listen, I don't care, okay? If you're going to say something bad, I don't care. I don't care what the fuck people rate, but I let you guys do it anyway because, just because, you know, because it's cool. Anyway, moving on. Okay, for the preliminary bouts, we have Okami versus Tim Boach. I believe he's a native of Pennsylvania from Pittsburgh, so got to go with Boach. We got Gomi and George Soteropoulos, which is just blows my mind. Kid Yamamoto versus Von Lee. Ricky Fukuda versus Steve Cantwell, Mitsugaki versus Chris Carasano, and Garcia against someone I've never heard of. And I can't pronounce his name, I'm not going to try because I'm a big fan of making an ass out of myself, but not that badly. Never heard of him, don't care about him, did very, very little research on him, and doesn't impress me. Okay, but again, Quentin was pissed that he wasn't going to get to fight in Japan when UFC goes back, but guess what? Rampage is back, baby, and he will fight Ryan Bader, UFC 144. That's what I have for you about UFC 44. Next step, I went way over my step is Junior Dos Santos. Comments below. How do you think he's going to do against future heavyweights such as Lesnar, Overeem, maybe Carwin again? You know, I mean, something to talk about. How long do you think his reign's going to last? Do you think he's at least going to defend the belt once and maybe get beat? Do you think he's going to dominate the heavyweight division forever? Please comment. Next thing is I want to talk about is other people that make MMA YouTube videos. I watch I watch all the predictions. I watch how people you know, sit on couches and drink beer and with their buddies and make predictions. And I watch kids that are like 16, 18 years old that are watching MMA. And I think you guys are all doing an amazing job. And putting a video out on YouTube isn't just like a walk in the park. It's putting yourself out there. You know, everyone lives in a town, and in a town there's video. Last but not least, well, no, two more things. Miller and Bisping and Jones Machida. Who do you have? I think again, just like the Akiyama Shields fight, I love them both. It doesn't matter to me. They're both fighting for their jobs, but I'm not rooting for one or the other. Same thing with Jones and Machida. Those are my two favorite fighters in the UFC. Those are my two favorite fighters in the UFC, and they're both going at it. You can bet your ass that that I'm gonna be here. I mean, not this room particularly, but my TV room, and I will be watching. I'm sold. $50, I'm sold. I can't wait. I think Jones is gonna pull it off, but you know, if Machida does make the upset, then I'll be happy too, because you know, when Joe Jones said welcome, or I'm sorry, Joe Rogan said welcome to the Machida era, I truly thought that Machida is going to dominate this sport with his style. Miller Bisping, my heart's with. I think Bisping's going to outpoint him for 5 rounds, and that's going to be his victory. That's my prediction. GSP and Diaz, my last minute. This is such an intriguing matchup. This is Super Bowl weekend. This is I mean, contrary to what my last video said, I think Nick's ready. I think Nick's ready to take on GSP. He did show increased takedown defense, you know, so you got to give it to the guy, you know. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, Mark Hunt was submitted by Sean McCorkle. His entrance in the octagon was 1 minute. He was submitted. It took Fedor 5-6 minutes to finally break and then submit Hunt. But listen, I think Hunt was way more on top of it. Way better than he was now in Pride. As I do Fedor. I still think Fedor is the best heavyweight of all time. No argument. You'll see my next video really soon. Please rate, comment if you'd like to, subscribe, and I love you all. Thank you all very much.